Welcome. I'm so excited to be welcoming you to the 5-step framework to confidently create a consistently profitable business. Hey, I'm Nick Twerick. I'll tell you a bit more about myself in a few moments, but we are for now going to dive into our content this morning. So first, I want to check in. Are you in the right place? Let's have a chat about a few things that might show you that you're in the right place today. If you are a mum in corporate and you are absolutely driven and determined to make your business work, you're absolutely in the right place this morning, and also good on you. I know what that feels like. Your business might have been performing okay, but you can't seem to take it to the next level. We're going to talk about what you need to be doing to make that happen today. If you are willing to trust that stepping up to your most confident self is critical to getting to where you want to go, it's actually one of the really important things you need to be able to do to make your business really succeed. And if you are the kind of woman who shows up and is not afraid to do the work, but you really aren't sure what to do next, you need a bit of guidance. I've got your back, my friend. We are going to go through that today with our framework. I want to check in on a couple of things though. If you aren't ready to put plans into action to create results, you aren't going to get anything from this training or any training, quite frankly. It has to be about putting your plans into action. You might be feeling that you've already got everything you need to reach your dream goals. I don't think that's you. I don't think you would be here if that was how you were feeling. I know that we sometimes feel like we should have all the answers, and as soon as we realize that that isn't actually the case, things can really turn around. If you don't like listening to new ways of considering tactics that you might have already tried without success before, and are frankly terrified of stepping away from the employee model security, I completely understand. I was there, but it is liberating to be able to move beyond that. And if you don't love getting 60 minutes of value-packed training, and you might get a wee bit upset if there's an offer at the end that will help you get what you want, then you might not enjoy this, because I am going to share with you how we could continue to work together. But first, my promise to you is that I will deliver as much value as I possibly can in the next 60 minutes to you, and that everything that I'm teaching you today is based on actual steps that I have taken in my business and in my life. There is no pure theory here. I am telling you about the things that work. And my promise is that you will be able to walk away from this free masterclass today and take action straight away, whether you decide to invest in Conflicted to Confident at the end or not. In fact, I absolutely would love to know that you are going to promise me that you will walk away and take action tomorrow. I want you to promise me that you're going to change one thing, just one thing after this masterclass. It will move you and your business along. Do yourself a favor and really listen with an open mind today. I am sharing with you the absolute top tips that I have as part of my framework. This is how I work with my clients. Please treat myself and the other attendees with respect. Make sure that you say hello in the chat box when you come online, and take a heap of notes. I want you to start making changes in your business straight away from what we talk about today. My tips for watching this masterclass: are you in a quiet room, and are your kidlets going to be interrupting you constantly? You really want to be devoting your full attention for the next 60 minutes. So please try and find a space where you can do that. Close your tabs so you have the bandwidth that you need to ensure that you get the best experience. I have shut everything down for my upload speed, but I cannot control your download speed. So let's make sure that you don't get your feed interrupted. And silence your phone. My friend, you work hard and you absolutely deserve to treat yourself to 60 minutes of learning and strategy for your business. And that's what this next hour is going to be about. So here's what you're going to learn today. I'm going to go through 3 of the biggest mistakes that you are making right now that are making it impossible for you to create consistent income in your business. I'm going to go through my 5-step framework, and there are a couple of words I want you to take out of how I've framed that up today: confident and consistent and profitable. Those are 3 critical points. We often try and do it, but we lack the confidence. We don't really believe. And I'm going to talk to you about the difference that it makes when you're able to get your headspace right today. I'm going to talk to you about the difference between the up and down business that most of us end up with when we first get started, and how you can turn that into a more consistently profitable model. And profit is really, really important as well, because you can make money and not actually be earning anything in your business. So how to create consistent profits in your business without sacrificing time with your kids, your sanity, or wasting more cash. How many of us have wasted a heap of money on stuff that turned out it wasn't the thing that we needed? Actually, you've got everything that you need to make your business succeed right in here. We're going to talk about how to tap into that. And I'll tell you what you need to be focusing on to get there. Does that sound okay? All right, today there is a fast action bonus available for people who are wanting to take action. I will talk to you at the end, so please stick with me through the whole hour about how you can get your hands on this. It's called 5 Days to Your Next 1K. And it's a 5-part training, a mini training that will help you put in place a system to be able to set a goal, a financial goal, and then work through in a really tangible way what you need to do to make that goal happen. I mean, how are you going to reach that goal? So what are you going to sell? Who are you going to sell it to? How many people do you need to be in front of? And how are you going to market it? It's a really, really powerful framework to be able to put in place in your business. And so stick around and I'll tell you how to get your hands on that. But let's get started for today. So I want to start with a story. Have you ever considered your business as a toddler? I want you to walk with me on this a little bit. Most of the people who join me on my webinars are mums, which means that you are either in right now, Toddlerville, or you have been there in the past. So cast your mind back, and that might be to, 10 minutes ago. Cast your mind back. When our babies are toddlers, or when they're even really little, it can be really thankless. It can be a really difficult time because until they learn how to give back and reciprocate emotion, it's all about the give, isn't it? Like we're giving of our love, we're giving of our energy, we're giving of our time, we're giving of ourselves often. And we're just helping this little person grow, and we're sustaining them, and we're trying to help them learn how to not be a crazy person. And we just, it can be really challenging. It's like when that 6-week markish and we start to get the smiles from our newborn baby, and we're like, oh my gosh, that's right, you're going to turn into a little human and you're going to give back love to me. And our toddlers then go through this other transition, and I tell this story because my second went through this transition a few months ago, and it really reminded me of how amazing it is when they start to feel and process emotion. And so we went through the stage, and her little cuddles just got longer and more intense, and she would put her little hands on my face and stare into my eyes, and I could just see her trying to figure out how to show this really big emotion. She would come racing down the hallway towards me when I'd get home going, "Mummy, mummy, mummy, you're here." She would dive into my arms, those moments that like just incredible and make you want to turn into a pile of goo on the floor. It's just amazing. And I was reminded how incredibly euphoric it feels when they start to be able to give back, when they start to be able to reciprocate that emotion and tell you that they love you. And it's just, it makes everything feel worth it. It reminds you that everything that we go through as a mum, and there are so many amazing moments and so many incredibly challenging moments as well. And every single one of them is worth it when you get to that point where they're able to give you that massive hug and tell you that they love you and process the fact that you are the center of their universe for a reason. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you remember that moment for yourself? I would love for you to let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. The point I'm making here is that growing our business is exactly like that. When your business is a baby, when it's new, and all children reach this point at a different time in life, and all businesses do as well. And sometimes it takes a long time and sometimes it happens quickly. But until you get to that point where you start to see some consistency in your results, it is up and down. There are amazing moments where you're like, oh my God, this might actually work. And oh, wow, I'm rubbish and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know who I, we get ahead of ourselves and we think that we don't have anything to offer. And so there are really big highs and really big lows. And those continue, by the way, as they do throughout our parenting journey. But when your business starts to give back to you, it is a euphoric feeling. It's really, really similar. And the point that I want to make here is we would absolutely never give up on our children, would we? Even in the really hard moments, even when we're like, oh my God, I'm going to change my name if I hear the word mum one more time. We would absolutely never give up on them. And so what I want you to really challenge yourself, especially in those moments when you are feeling a little bit of despair, a little bit of like, wow, is this ever going to work? Am I doing the right thing? Can I do this? Can you persevere with that? Can you persevere with yourself, and can you persevere with your business? Finding my confidence as a mum was incredible for my maternal journey, and finding my confidence in my business was the number one way that I have transformed my business. It really completely changed the way that I was showing up. And it wasn't just that I got my confidence, whatever got my confidence actually means, that made the difference. It was what I did with it inside my business that really mattered. It was how I was showing up, the decisions that I was making, realizing that everything that I do is a choice, being strategic. Hey, I'm Victoria, and if we haven't met before, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. I am thrilled to have you here today. I am the founder of Nicole Tuerick Coaching and creator of Conflicted to Confident, which is my signature premium course. I'm a mum. These are my two beautiful girls that you see on the screen there. Micah is my eldest and Eliana is my youngest. And it's been quite a journey. I have 20 years business behind me. I am a consultant. I work with large and small businesses, and I'm a business coach, and I help mums grow businesses that they absolutely love. I help them do that in a way that has them embracing their confidence and has them figuring out how to get away from corporate and take back control of their lives and their businesses. And when I'm not helping mums grow amazing businesses, I can probably be found whipping up or enjoying foodie heaven. I am a bit of a foodie. I love to eat. I love to create food for my loved ones and for friends and family. Don't mind enjoying the occasional glass of wine. And look, my happy place is in my kitchen. Not the kind of cooking that we do on, the 5 o'clock crazy time in the middle of the week. I really love creating. So there's some of the things that absolutely drive me. And I do have 20 years, I know I don't look a day over 21, and a decade of coaching behind me. I have worked in small business and I have worked with really large corporations, and transforming businesses is my bag. That's what I do. And I do that by coaching and helping leaders and CEOs and executives become the best version of themselves, really realizing what their skills are, what their strengths are, and how to make the most of those. And then shaping their teams and shaping the way that they are growing their business so that they are strategic. And what I have learned through that entire process is that you choose your experience. And I would say this to all of the people that I was bringing into my Big Four consulting firm. I was a director in consulting for many years, until very recently, actually. And I would say to them, you know, every firm is full of people. So there is always the potential for there to be some kind of experience there that you don't love. But I believe that you choose your experience. You get to choose the opportunities that you take advantage of. You get to choose how you react to different situations. You get to choose how you're showing up and the attitude that you're bringing every single day. And those choices that you make are what transform your experience and your growth and your learning and ultimately your achievements. I used my experience, my mindset, and my attitude to generate 7-figure results year on year as a director. Those were my targets, and I always hit my targets. And it was incredible to realize that when I started to trust myself and lean into the things that I was great at and get help with the things that I wasn't great at, that I was always going to hit my targets. I never doubted that that would happen. And I have used those same things, and I have built my business to multiple 6 figures in 2 years, which is incredible. I was doing some reflection the other day, and I'm really proud of the things that I've achieved, particularly in the last 12 months. It's been an amazing growth experience. But that is absolutely not where I started. So I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. Back to 2017, I had just had my second child. So you can see in the photo on the screen there, the little monkey snuggled into me. Aren't they divine when they're little? They're also bloody hard. And I was really struggling with postnatal depression, particularly after Eliana. It was a really tough time for me. And you can see my youngest in the background there, Micah. She was 3. And we thought we were incredible parents when we got through the 2s, and we were like, terrible 2s. What are terrible 2s? We must be amazing. No. We got to 3 and we realized we were in fact not amazing. It was so difficult. She turned 3 just before Eliana was born. So I had her completely losing the plot. Like, there was some seriously epic tantrums going on there. Eliana was a silent reflux baby, and also a baby who declined to sleep. And I had postnatal depression, so it was a really tough time. I had a business that was not making money. I was in business with a business partner and had done so for about 4 years prior to the current iteration of Nicole Tawaric Coaching. And I was learning that the corporate world was absolutely not on my side. I had had quite a tough experience. Despite being really successful in terms of results, I was on track to partner, and I thought that was what I wanted. Leading up to Eliana being born, I had some experiences with some other people in my firm which weren't great and created a lot of anxiety for me. And then while I was on maternity leave, that same person did some maneuvering in the background, and essentially my partner opportunity disappeared. So that was really, really difficult. And it caused me to really be questioning what was important for me. When I returned to work, we all know that guilt when you have to put your baby into daycare early. Eliana was about 7 months old when I put her into daycare 4 days a week. And Micah had been the same, but I didn't have a choice. We needed my income, and that was all we could afford in terms of maternity leave. And I had a massive anxiety event when I went back to work and realised that all they really wanted me to do was work for them and fix things that weren't working, that other people had created issues around. And so I knew that something needed to change. I wasn't prepared to keep operating like that. I was really feeling the pull to make a difference, to make more of an impact. And one thing I realized when I had the postnatal, actually I probably realized it in retrospect looking back, but when I had a bad day, my entire family had a bad day. My girls were off, Micah would lose the plot, my hubby didn't cope. And I realized that as mums, we are the center of our family. And so I was trying to figure out how I could do something that would help. And I was thinking about the things that I was great at, the things that I loved about consulting. And it was coaching and making a difference for people and really helping them become the best version of themselves and get great results in their businesses. I love that. I get really jazzed about implementing really strong strategy in a simple way that gets results. And that is where the idea came from, to pivot the business and really focus on coaching and working with professional mums who are in corporate and want to grow a small business. Now, I had absolutely no idea how to grow an online business, but I reckon I could figure it out. I had no insight at that time just how steep that learning curve was going to be. And I knew that we had to make some massive changes in our lives to be able to make that work. So we uprooted our entire life. We sold our house. We moved to Victoria, which those of you who aren't in Australia is half a country away, but that's where our family was, and we moved to be closer to family and to have that experience because we had figured out what our ideal life looked like. And we were putting in place things that were going to help move us towards that. And so we shifted. I had an 8-month-old baby when we moved down here. I moved with my job, which was amazing. They were incredibly supportive, and don't get me wrong, corporate wasn't supporting me, but that didn't mean there weren't some amazing people in that company that I was able to work with. And I became obsessed with my business. I was able to retire Jeff, and so we made big choices to make that happen. Not only was it my business doing that, but also we decided to rent for a while. That meant that he could stay home with the girls. That made it possible for me to focus on growing my business. And so obsession is not always a good thing. And I distinctly remember a moment, when we were sitting down and we were looking at the finances, and Jeff was like, so when is the point at which you kind of go, yep, this is going to work, or no, it's not going to work? And it was really confronting having him ask me that question because I realized then that I was all in. And I had complete confidence that I would get to where we wanted to be getting to in the business. I had absolutely no idea how I was going to get there at that point, but I was not going to give up. That was a real turning point because I didn't realize until that point that I was all in. I didn't realize to that point that I would do whatever it took to make or create the results that we were looking for. And now, we have an incredible life. We have created a large proportion of what that ideal life looks like. And there are still big things that we're working towards, absolutely. But what's most important is that we are really, really happy right now. And I'm crystal clear on my mission. I want to be an influencer. I want to be someone who has a message that people want to listen to, that inspires people, and to enable professional mums to become empowered CEOs, not just somebody who's got a side hustle, not just somebody who's got a little business. We tend to downgrade the way we think about ourselves, but to really step up and be a CEO of your business and have the confidence and the systems to build a thriving business that they love. And the whole reason we do that is so that we can live our lives by design, so that we have more choice, so that we have the time with our children. We get to choose the impact that we're making. And that's what I'm about in Nicole to Grow Coaching. Now, creating this transformation has meant that we are living our ideal life right now. I retired Jeff from his 9-to-5 to look after our girls. We've had the privilege of, being able to have them at home and not having to be in daycare. And it also means that my business is evolving exactly as it is meant to, because I am able to take informed and decisive action. I'm very deliberate about the choices that I make, and what I choose not to do is just as important as what I choose to do. And that is really, really important because there are so many bright and shiny things out there that we tend to get distracted by, especially when we're doubting ourselves. I'm going to talk a lot about that in a little minute. Now, I was able also to leave my 9 to 5 within 12 months of pivoting my business, which has been amazing. So empowering to be able to do that. And I still serve corporate clients. I do that now through my business, and I do it with clients that I want to work with clients where I feel I can make a really big difference, where there's a values alignment. And so I get to create transformation in big business as well as small business. And I absolutely love where my business is at. And I no longer doubt what's possible. We are changing lives, including our own. And I get to do that with a whole range of clients. But what I'm really passionate about is working with corporate mums and helping them change their lives. And that's what this whole training is about. Most importantly, though, I want you to think about this. I am no longer anxious. I am not stressed. I'm not sacrificing time with my girls for a career that I'm not passionate about. And my confidence has grown to a point where I'm truly able to add value. I don't have doubt, and I don't hold back through fear in terms of how I serve my clients. And it's not about arrogance. It's not about a lack of humility. It's about quiet confidence and assurance, and knowing where and how to make an impact for people. That's really powerful when you can learn how to harness that. And my business easily enables me to support my family and grow our dream life without having to hustle for sales or compromise. And I think that's something that we want to get away from, isn't it? We're constantly feeling like we're compromising on the choices that we're making in life. And it just is really challenging. So let's talk about the 3 major mistakes to avoid in growing your business. Now, the first mistake that I see people making is you are hustling like crazy to get your business off the ground. And that is a message that we get, isn't it? You have to hustle, you have to work hard, you have to sacrifice. And you believe that connection is important. It is, in fact, at the heart of making sales. But you've been told that you need to be visible to make that happen. And you think that means being everywhere. You're on all the platforms. You're trying to keep a Facebook group alive. You're trying to figure out the algorithms. You're on Instagram. You're learning stories. You're in Pinterest. You're out there networking. And it's just exhausting. And think about what this strategy is costing you. It's costing you time with your children. It's making you frustrated. It's making you actually doubt whether it's even possible, because how could I sustain this? It takes you away from doing the important things in your business. And that's really, really important. I've said it already on the masterclass today. What you don't do is just as important as what you do. And knowing where you need to focus is absolutely critical. When you stop hustling, you get back to your core message. It enables you to have the time to really connect with your ideal client, really get to know her or him. You know, what drives them? What are the things that are really important to them? How do they want to connect with you? What, in fact, is the message that you need to be delivering, that they need to hear, so that they know that you're the right person for them to be working with? You don't get that when you're hustling and trying to be everywhere. You cannot create real connection when you're doing that. And even worse, that strategy keeps you stuck in one-on-one services. So many people that I talk to are doing the everywhere thing, and they're not able to think strategically about their business. So they are delivering one-on-one services or working in a smaller field with their clients than they could be. And it caps your earning levels. So it keeps you busy and it stops you from growing. That's not something that you want to be doing. The second mistake I want to talk about today is creating more products to increase your revenue. We think that the more we've got, the more we're going to make. And it's just not true. If you are constantly changing up the products that you are offering, creating more products or changing the ones that you've got, then something is wrong in your business. And it really doesn't have to look like that. I want you to focus on one product. I know I can hear you going, what are you talking about? But when you focus, you will find that you are able to perfect the product that you've got by applying and building on your learnings. because you have the space to breathe and listen to your customers about what works and what doesn't work and change it. And you will grow your sales much more exponentially because you aren't starting from scratch constantly. The exponential curve looks like this for a reason. Yeah, there's this big old flat part where it just looks like it's not growing. It feels like it's not growing. And that's when we panic because we're like, this is not doing, I want to be over there. This is not doing what I want it to do. And so we're like, clearly this product's not right. And so you go and do something completely different. And it leaves your clients confused as heck. They every time you switch to a new product, you put yourself back into square one. You're constantly in development land instead of growth land in your business. And your ideal client's like, wait, I thought that you were focused on this thing over here. Like if you, let's say you do social media and you have a Facebook course and you're starting to get known for that. And you panic and you're like, do you know what? Everybody's on Instagram. I think I need to be focusing on Instagram. And so you start to release an Instagram product. And your ideal client's like, wait. I thought you were a Facebook expert. Now you're saying that you're an Instagram expert? Oh, now you're talking about Pinterest? Okay, I don't think you know what you're doing and you think you're a jack of all trades. So I'm going to go and work with this person over here because they're really focused and clearly they're an expert in their field. Can you relate to that? Has anybody felt that panic? Like, oh, clearly I'm not selling the right thing here. I need to move on. I need to change it up. And I bet as a customer that you have had that experience. I know I have, where I'm watching people online. I'm like, I don't think you know what you're on about. And so I go and I only work with people who I perceive to be an expert in their field. Mistake number 3, it's all about the results that you create. We get so stuck on the results and the numbers. And actually the marketing world that's out there doesn't help with this because everybody's marketing about, you know, your 5-figure month and how to get to 6 figures and you need to be a 7-figure entrepreneur. And we get so stuck on these magic numbers and we make our business completely about that. But when you let your results mean more than just being an outcome, you let them define your worth. And it undermines your confidence. This is costing you money because it is eroding your self-belief. You either get the result that you needed or the lesson. You either get the result that you wanted or the lesson that you really needed. And so in order to get that lesson, because that might be the lesson that is going to take you, you know, you never know when the kicker is going to be on your growth curve. And maybe that's the lesson that you needed to shift you in a different direction. And to do that, you need to let go of the result to really grow. Okay. And it feels really paradoxical. I'm not saying don't set goals. I'm absolutely not saying that. I am a goal setter from way back. What I'm saying is you set the goal, you have a reason and an intention for the goal, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then you let go. You have a strategy to get there and you're executing on the strategy. But don't fixate on the result because that's what causes you to panic. And you're so blinkered and so focused on, I just need to do these things to get to this goal. And you miss the opportunities. You miss the magic that's around the edges that might actually help you hit that goal. It also means that you're operating from a place of fear of not hitting the goal. And so you're making decisions from a place of frustration. We're scared that our business won't succeed. We attach all this meaning to achieving that number. Well, if I can't achieve that number, clearly I'm not going to succeed in business. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. And then the reptilian part of your brain takes over. You cannot succeed from that place. And the other thing we do is we project our doubt onto others, and then they reflect it back at us. And we perceive that as them doubting us and doubting our business, when actually they're just trying to protect us because they're like, oh, I can feel that you don't think that this is right. Maybe, are you sure this is what you want to be doing? Are you sure this is going to work? Because I'm really worried about you because I can feel that you're not quite right. And it gets in the way of your sales too because your customers can feel it as well. And finally, it undermines our self-belief. We let it define our belief of what we're going to achieve and whether our business can actually be successful. And no one can succeed without getting out of fear and doubt. You just can't. But it's not impossible to get out of it. It's actually pretty straightforward. So instead, what you want to be doing is finding that quiet assurance, that confidence about doing what it is that we need to do, and learning and growing from each result that we get. Everything is a result. Everything is a result. And when we can learn and grow from each result, then we learn to be the CEO that we need to be. We're more able to step up and show up differently and, sit up a bit straighter and deliver our message with confidence. And when you adopt an experimentation mindset in your business, that is really, really game changing. That was actually a critical turning point for me this year in my business, was realizing that everything that I do is a big old experiment, and no scientific breakthrough was ever achieved without failure. Failure is a misnomer. It's an essential part of your journey, because before every scientific breakthrough is years and years of things not working and trying again and trying something different and going, oh, that's really interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I wonder if I take that piece of that result and apply it into the experimentation. You wouldn't know I was a scientist. I can't even think of the words, like the way that I'm constructing my experiment. I wonder if that would get me a different result. Your business is exactly like that, and it's so liberating to get to that point. So I just want to check in for a second. I'm going to dive into the framework momentarily. But think about this. Where are you holding back in your business? Are you making those mistakes? Let me know in the chat box. I would love to see if that's resonating for you. What can you shift, even just from thinking about those mistakes that you're making right now? What can you shift tomorrow? See, successful business owners know their ideal client intimately. And I mean, they know all about them. They know what drives them. They know what they're scared of. They know what their core problem is. They know why they have that problem. They know what they think that problem is, because most of our ideal clients, there's what they think their problem is, and there's what we know that they need to fix to get over that. Successful business owners take risks that pay off. I'm not talking about super scary, well, actually some of them are super scary, but I'm not talking about, stupid risks. I'm not talking about being ridiculous. I'm talking about being calculated and knowing where you're going and going, do you know what? I'm prepared to back myself, which is where the third point comes in. They're prepared to believe that anything is possible if they're going to back themselves and apply themselves. And what is essential about that is believing in yourself. And at the end of the day, focused businesses can make a lot of money. It is one of the points I definitely want you to take away from today. Focus is critical, but you won't be able to grow a successful business without a great strategy as well. So let's dive into the framework, the 5-step framework to confidently create a consistently profitable business. Now remember, there's 3 words that are critical in the way that I've framed up the name for this today: confident, consistent, and profitable. You need confidence to grow. You need consistent revenue coming in for you to feel like your business is successful, actually for it to be successful. And it needs to be profitable money. This is what the framework looks like. There are 5 steps: connect, balance, define, believe, and own it. And I'm going to run through each one of those today. And the reason there's a big old red arrow snake running through that is that it's iterative. This whole process of being in business, like I said, it's a big experiment. And you might be, at one end of the framework on one day, and then the next day you're right back at the start going, yeah, I need to connect back in. I really need to get back to the roots of what I'm driving here because I've lost my way a bit. And so it's this massive iterative process. It's an amazing experience. So step 1 is connect. Think about, when was the last time you connected back with what you really want? This is the step that most people miss. in their business. Most people think that this is fluffy stuff. Actually, it is the most important part of you growing a successful business. See, if you don't have a vision for your business that inspires you, you have no destination. How can you move forward without knowing where you want your business to get to? The strength of your vision for your business defines the decisions that you need to make to get there. And I don't know about you, but if you try to get somewhere without knowing the destination, it's pretty much impossible to get there. In fact, some of us, I'm not very good at directions. Some of us can't even get there when we know the destination. So it's really important to spend the time to work out the vision for your business and where you're going. The second thing about this step is your why. Now, why gets a bad rap. Everybody's talking about your why today online, but it's not because it is the latest shiny thing. It's because it is actually really important. But it's about more than motivation. Okay, a lot of the time we hear, well, if you know your why, then you know why you need to keep going. But it's about more than that. What is the reason that you are building this business? Your why is about both you and your ideal client. It's about the impact that you want to make. It's about what drives your business. And defining your ideal life is the starting point for all of your business goals. Now, one thing I do want to point out is, as mums and as women really, but I think particularly as mums, we need a connected business. There's something that triggers, like our whole way of thinking completely shifts when we have a baby. Actually, you are biologically rewired. There are bits that work in the brain of somebody who has given birth to a child that don't work in the brain of somebody that hasn't. And I'm not saying that in a discriminatory way. It's just biologically true, right? And so we crave connection. We want a business that makes a difference. We want to be connected to other women. We want to be connected to other people. Our network is critical. We build our business through our tribe. And we want to be connected to the purpose of our business. That's why setting business goals from your ideal life, which is where we want to get to for our families and for ourselves and how we want to be living and how we want to be showing up in our choices. I do goal setting differently. It's how I teach it in Conflicted to Confident. We start with ideal life and we work back to what does that mean that our business needs to deliver for us to get there. You show up in a completely different way. It's really powerful. And then all of this leads into, well, what is the purpose of your connected business? What is the impact you want to create? Now, again, this is a step that a lot of people skip over and they, spend 3 minutes working out what their elevator pitch is on their business, and they just rattle it off. But when you take time to really connect in, why does your business exist? What is the purpose? What is the reason that your business exists? When you're able to describe that, people lean in because they can feel your passion. They can feel that you're really driven to help them and to connect with them in a real and genuine way. Meet Jess. Jess is one of my Conflicted to Confident students, and when we started working together, she was all over the shop. She is an incredibly empathetic and intelligent woman. She's amazing, and she's driven to help people. She's a counsellor, and she works with families, and she wanted to work with families, but she was kind of all over the place. And as she worked through this, she was able to draw her vision for her business out. Now, it has changed her life because now she knows exactly what her business stands for. She wants to work with families. She wants to help them get out of the chaos and the crazy and to find a way to be really intentional about how they're working together. She knows now how she's bringing all of her skills to bear with her ideal client. And she has such a strong vision for her business that she was able to completely do away with a whole bunch of the stuff that she was bunny hopping between. She stopped her working at her job because her vision was so strong that she was able to get to a point to go, yeah, do you know what? That is not serving me anymore. This is where I need to be focusing. And it completely transformed the way that they're showing up, the way that they're living their lives, and the results she's getting in her business. It's really powerful stuff to nail your vision. All right, step 2 is about balance. So finding time to grow starts with you and designing your business deliberately. Getting back your time, and as mums, we all feel time poor. We feel like we're being pulled in 1,000 directions. And there are genuinely a lot of things that are drawing on our time and clamoring for our attention. Starting with our small people who say our names about 4,000 times a day. And it's really hard to get outside of the noise and above the weeds to be able to figure out how the hell am I going to find the time to create something different out of my life. Getting back your time starts with knowing where it's going. So we spend a lot of time in Conflicted to Confident working through this. Do you actually know all the roles that you're filling in life? You're a mum, you're a partner, you might be a wife, you're a daughter, you might be a sister, you might be a granddaughter, you're a friend, you might be a volunteer, you might be president of the PTA, you might be a netballer or a dancer or somebody who you might be a student, you might be going to university. You've got all of these roles that you fill in life. You've got a job and probably 1,000 roles that you're filling at your job. And when we actually sit and stop and take stock of those and think about what are they, how many of them are they, which ones are actually important, and how important are they to me, and how do I feel I'm performing in them, you start to be able to clear the decks a bit and go, do you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. And saying no and learning how to do that with empathy and backing yourself is a skill in and of itself that you need to learn. And we go through that in Conflicted to Confident, but essentially it's about being able to say with empathy, I'm really sorry, but that's not something that I'm able to give my time to right now, because these are my priorities and these are the things that I'm focusing on. And you've got friends who've said that to you and you were okay with it. You'll be fine. And the second thing that I want you to take away from this step is your business model really, really matters. So many of us let our business drive us. This plays back to that one-on-one services point I was making before. And we let it evolve organically without making deliberate choices about what that means. So where is your revenue going to come from? What product are you going to sell? How are you going to shape your services? And have you thought about the type of revenue that you're bringing in? You know, passive revenue is something we hear a lot about. It gets thrown around in a whole bunch of different industries and circles. It is actually a technical business term. You have active income and you have passive income, and it's a scale. So where on that scale is your product going to sit? Your services, where are they going to sit? One-on-one is right down the active end. That's a time for money exchange. It's no different to a job, actually. And that's why so many women and people actually, you know, you can build a successful business that way, but it caps the growth. There is only so much time in the day, and there is only so much you can raise your rates before it starts to impact on your growth. So think about how you're going to scale. How are you going to be able to help more people with 1 hour of your time? And what you say no to, and I can't say this enough, is just as important as what you say yes to. And I will make the point here, you know, it's this is something that all businesses are struggling with right now. Every industry is changing. Every industry is being transformed. If I think about the consulting industry, the Big Four firm that I was working with, it's $1 billion company. They're struggling with this as well because they've built a model that has capped their revenue because it is time people pay for consulting hours. And yes, they can leverage and they can change the structure of the teams that they put on, but essentially they still have to keep hiring people to increase their revenue. And the costs of hiring people is not going down, it is going up. And how much they can raise their rates, that is dropping. And people are saying, no, I'm not prepared to pay that. And so their margins are getting squeezed. That comes to that profitability point I was making. So even the big guys are struggling with this. And if you can nail your business model early in the piece, or if it's not early in the piece for you, just nail it now, you will set yourself up for much bigger success later on. It's really important. Meet Ali. Ali is another one of my conflicted to confident students, and working through this step of the framework balance was a real breakthrough moment for Ali. She really realized that she was showing up in a way that was keeping her restricted in her business. And she actually did a complete pivot. Working through the vision module, realizing who she wanted to be working with, realizing the strengths that she brings to bear, she completely changed. And she knows now that she's got these incredible experiences as a single mum, and she wants to work with other single mums and help them through their experience. And she's shifting the way that she shows up and serves her clients, and it's completely changed what she's able to achieve in her business. She's getting some amazing results. All right, step 3 is all about define. So how you define success changes how you show up for your brand. Think about this a bit differently. Let's start here though. Your success defined. You need to know what success feels like so that you can get in front of the fear of failure. Now, the important point that I want you to take away here is feels like. We get so caught up in what success looks like. Well, I must look like this to be successful. Like I must be doing these things or have these things or show up in these ways or, all of that kind of stuff. This is what I have to look like online. But actually what that is us coming from a place of worrying what other people think of us, which completely undermines what you're trying to achieve. Okay? And it keeps you in that point of fear of wondering what people are going to think of us, which we already know from earlier in the framework that making decisions from a place of fear is not a constructive place to make decisions from. And failure is it's something that has to happen for us to learn and grow in our businesses. And when you really define success, you can design a winning brand. And I'm not talking about the fun brand stuff, your fonts and your logos and your colors and the images that you use. I'm talking about fundamentally, what do you stand for? What do you want people to feel and think? And what impression do you want them to have when they think about you and your brand? That's the stuff that's super important. And your winning brand comes from knowing what success looks like for you and for your business and for your clients. Don't make the mistake of letting circumstance decide where you end up for your brand and in terms of what success looks like for you. You'll see this theme playing out. We let our businesses evolve organically instead of taking charge and having a vision and knowing where we're going and having a strategy to get there. Meet Sophie. When Sophie and I first started talking together, she was telling herself all sorts of stories around what success needed to look like from the outside in. And she was constantly worrying about what that meant, about what she needed to be doing in her business, Real Entrepreneur Mums. And when she was able to cut through all those stories and get really focused on what matters for her clients, it completely changed the way that they were planning their business model. She brought an online element into how Real Entrepreneur Mums is being delivered. She made it scalable. She created space to be able to really listen to what her members wanted, and that has changed what she's bringing. There's so much exciting stuff coming in the Real Entrepreneur Mum business over the next 12 months because she's really listening to what her members want and making the time and space to set a great strategy in place. The fourth step in the framework is believe. Your self-belief is holding you back in your business right now. And I can say that with 100% confidence. We all have self-belief issues and we all have limiting beliefs. And the most effective way to change your results is to address those limiting beliefs. Now, a limiting belief is where you have, sometimes they're subconscious, but you have this belief that you're holding about what you can achieve. It can be as simple as, my mum has a limiting belief about sponges. She just believes that she can't make sponges. And do you know what? She makes terrible sponges, but she's got this limiting belief about it that she can't do it. And so it doesn't matter, it doesn't seem to matter at all, actually, what she does. She cannot get a light and fluffy sponge. Now, that means that in that whole process of baking, she can follow the same recipe that you follow, and you might be an amazing sponge maker, but she's doubting herself and she's second guessing, and she might be overbeating or underbeating because she's making choices from a fear of the cake failing. Your business is the same. That's what limiting beliefs do. They cause us to make decisions from this place of not really believing what we're capable of. You might believe that I used to think that I wasn't a good presenter. Actually, I'm a great presenter, but it took a while for me to step into that and allow myself to practice and show up and learn the things I needed to learn. I had this limiting belief. I want you to think about the limiting beliefs that you've got that are holding you back. What are the things that you're scared of? You are underestimating the impact that doubt has on your results in your business. When you're doubting constantly, you just aren't going to maximize the potential results that you can be achieving. So let's talk about affirmations. One thing I want you to start doing, thinking about your thought life. The things that you are telling yourself about what you can and can't do will become true. They are reinforcing your beliefs about you and your identity and what you're capable of. And let me give you a story about an affirmation. And I know that some people think that they're super fluffy. Actually, affirmations are really, really important. It's just finding the way of doing them that works for you. If you're not a say it out loud in front of the mirror kind of girl, then don't say it out loud in front of the mirror. Find a way where the affirmations work for you. As I said, I used to think that I wasn't a good presenter. As a consultant, I've had to do a lot of facilitation in my time, and I was forced to overcome it because it was part of my job. But I really believed that I was not good at it. I wasn't confident. I was fearful of it. And so I started using affirmations because I had to do it irrespective of those beliefs, and it caused me a lot of anxiety. I used to feel really sick and really nervous. And over the years, the more I've done it, the better I've gotten at it. And the affirmations, I just kept using them. And at the start of last year, I was driving to a client meeting. It was quite a high-level meeting, so senior executives, and I was not prepared. And preparation was one of the things that I used to help me kind of get, myself in the zone. And I started feeling a bit anxious about this meeting. And from nowhere, I wasn't doing my affirmations. I hadn't consciously tapped into it. This thought popped into my head, and it was me telling myself, this thought was just, it's okay. You've got this. You're great at facilitating sessions. That it'll be completely fine. And I just relaxed. It wasn't a conscious decision. It was, I could feel my subconscious talking to me going, you don't need to be nervous about this. You're going to be fine. You've got the skills that you need to make this meeting work. And it was a great meeting. And I knew that it was a great meeting. And I think that's why it was a great meeting, because I walked in with the confidence that it didn't matter what came out of it, I was going to be able to handle it. That is the power of affirmations, because I had changed my self-belief about that particular skill. And it was such a turning point for me. I used that story really deliberately to realize that I could change a belief that I held about myself so fundamentally that as soon as that thought popped into my head, I physically felt my body relax. It was fine. It was fine. It's really powerful. And your business beliefs, you hold the same limiting beliefs about business. So what you believe about what is possible in your business will impact how you're showing up. You will show up from a place of what you believe is possible. Changing it is really important. Meet Anna. Anna is another one of my students. And when we were working together, she was super stuck. Actually, she had a great strategy. She had it all laid out. She's very good at what she does, but she really believed that she couldn't sell, that she didn't like selling, that people didn't like being sold to. She didn't believe that she could do webinars. And we worked through all of that. And what she found once she started to address her limiting beliefs was that actually for her ideal client, a webinar is an absolutely brilliant way for her to sell. And what has been transformational for her is in tackling that belief, realizing that actually she's brilliant at a webinar, and she now has a strategy where she does one webinar a quarter and she completely fills her coaching program for the quarter. She's been able to raise her prices, she's hitting her goals and exceeding them. And she's in Europe at the moment because that was her goal, to earn enough money to take her family to Europe, and so she made that happen. All because she was tackling her self-belief. I can't wait to see what's coming for Anna next year. She's got some super exciting plans. The final step in the framework is own it. And this is all about stepping up to CEO, really owning your business and your strengths, because your strengths must be at the core of your business. If you're not coming from a place of strength, then you are constantly battling against those self-beliefs. If you lean into the stuff that you're really great at, and most of the women, when they start to work with me, don't really know what they're great at. There's a process to go through to figure out what those things are and how to bring them into your business. Then you're constantly coming from a place of lack, and that's really challenging to do. Okay? And it helps your marketing. Your marketing message needs to be on point and consistent. This comes back to knowing your ideal client, knowing what you stand for, the purpose of your business and the impact that you want to make, and what your ideal client needs to hear. And so owning it is all about really stepping up with confidence about your marketing message, about the message that your ideal client needs to hear, and delivering that consistently. Your confidence is critical here because we tend to flip-flop on our messaging and the way that we're delivering it, or maybe holding back a bit. We pull our punches, yeah? We don't say what we really need to say for our client to go, oh, maybe I need to think about that. She might be right. Stepping up to CEO means knowing who you need to be as you take your business to the heights that you're striving for. So that vision that we talked about at the start, if you know what your vision is for your business, then you know what kind of CEO needs to be running that business. Now, what got you here won't get you there. So once you know what that businesswoman looks like, you can look at her, you can go, okay, I can see that. That's the type of person she is. That's the type of leader she is. That's the type of team she's leading. Well, then you can start to be that person right now. And you can learn the things you need to learn and step into the confidence that you need to step into so that you can then start making the decisions you need to be making and taking the actions you need to be taking to get your business there. Does that make sense? Meet Irene. She is a classic example of being able to step up to CEO. She runs a business called 99 Au Pairs. She has designed an incredible platform, a technology platform, which brings together families and au pairs and helps them find the right match. She has a completely amazing purpose and impact for her business, and it's about making a difference for the families, but also for those incredible girls who she brings from European countries to come and au pair and have a new experience and learn what is possible. And so she's so passionate, but she was doubting herself and getting lost in the weeds of what she needed to do next to get to that point of launch for her business. When she really took a step back and said, okay, wait, what is my vision for 99 Au Pairs? Where do I want to get to? What does that look like? And then we said, okay, well, what does Irene need to look like? What does that Irene do? How does she show up? What is she saying? What is she thinking? And she brought that Irene into her current day. Now, from that point, it took her 6 months to get her business up and running. She's currently in Europe on holiday with her family and recruiting new au pairs for her platform because her launch has gone so incredibly well. And it's because she figured out how she needed to be showing up and then completely changed what she was doing next in her business. Growth doesn't happen on its own though. Each of my students has grown their businesses because they implemented a target strategy. Okay? So let's just do a quick recap. Your 3 mistakes to avoid. Don't hustle to grow your business. Get really focused on your ideal client and making genuine connections. That is what will help you stand out from the crowd. Don't create a heap of products to increase your revenue. A targeted strategy will enable you to perfect what your ideal client really wants. And don't let your results or the lack of them define how you are showing up. Don't attach meaning to that. It sounds backwards, but success starts with self-belief and confidence. It really, truly does. And what you need to grow is to have a simple implementation system, to know without a doubt what your next step is to maintain your growth momentum. You need to develop the confidence to tap into your unique and differentiating skills, the things that make you who you are. You're an amazing person, and your uniqueness is what is going to draw your ideal client to you. And that is how you'll become an empowered expert in your niche. Build your business foundations quickly and be strategic about it. Know exactly what to focus on up front for maximum impact and income in your business. And finally, and I think most importantly, having that community of business besties by your side as we walk through every single step that you need to establish and grow your business. I believe, you know that adage, it takes a village to raise a child. I believe that it takes a village or a tribe to raise your business as well. I think that we thrive best when we're doing it together as women and as mums in business. So we've talked through the 5-step framework for a consistently profitable business. And I'm not sure why you showed up today. Maybe you need to change something. You know you need to change something, and you want to turn your hobby business into a machine that's making money for you, but you're not sure where to get started. Maybe you're coming in here today and you're frustrated with all that conflicting advice out there about what is actually working in online business today, all those bright, shiny things that are constantly trying to distract us. Or maybe you just wanted someone to take you by the hand and show you the way forward for you and your business. I don't know about you, but I'm not really up for learning things the hard way anymore. I don't got time for that. But what I do know is that this is absolutely hands down the best time to be a mum in business. Hands down. If you think about business 5 years ago and the way that business existed, there was nothing like the opportunity that is available today, particularly with online as an element of our businesses and our ability to run them from our houses and to make massive impact for people whilst being in our lives. But how do you and your business stand out from the crowd? If you take away one thing from today, I want you to know that you can dramatically increase your results in your business just by deciding that it will happen and putting a really deliberate strategy in place. I created that 5-step system to make it easy to create and grow a consistently profitable business with complete confidence. And that's what I've outlined for you today. So I want to know what your takeaways are. I hope you've been taking notes. I want to know what you're going to do differently tomorrow. And that means that the obvious question for you then is, from all of that, how are you really going to make it all work so that you can see results in your business quickly? There are different options for you to take. The first is time consuming and confusing. This is the way that I did business for the first 4 years. It's not the one I recommend. In my experience, doing it yourself didn't work. It does work for some people, but what it generally means is that it takes a lot longer. It means that we're not hitting the results and the impact that we want to be hitting soon enough. And it means that we often end up at a point of success if we manage to succeed the hard way and realize that we don't love the business that we've created because we haven't been simple and strategic. This is the option that I recommend for you. I recommend following the steps that I've taught you today, figuring out where your business needs to be and how you're going to get there in a really simple way. Be strategic about it. Have that plan in place and then take the steps to execute on it and build and grow yourself as you do it. Okay? That's what I recommend. Now, I would love to invite you to join me in Conflicted to Confident. Conflicted to Confident is my signature premium course. And in it, I take you through step by step how to create and grow your business. Because what I know is that you don't want to still be struggling month to month in 12 months' time. You want to have a business that's thriving. You want to be well on your journey by then. And we all know that the reasons for growing a thriving business are a no-brainer. But the process to get there is so hard. It's really not something that just happens intuitively. And so I designed Conflicted to Confident as an A to Z business implementation plan. It's not just a course. It's not just a mindset exercise. It tells you how to implement your business, how to get your strategy in place, how to know what it is you need to do to get to where you want to go to. So what do you get inside Conflicted to Confident? Obviously, you get the complete business building implementation system. And I'll go through the details of that in a moment. It is 100% online. It's self-paced learning. So that means you get access to the whole training program now, and you can decide how fast you want to go through it. Each of the modules, there are the 5 steps of the framework that I've gone through today with you, and there is a 6th module which is all about results in there as well, which is all about your goal setting, nailing your strategy, your 90-day planning, how you're going to show up, your money mindset, all of that kind of stuff. Every module there's between 3 and 6 lessons per module. They have training videos, workbooks, cheat sheets, and most importantly, a members only private Facebook group. But even more important than that is what you will create, because you will create, or if you're pivoting, you're going to be resetting business foundations that will set you up for long-term success. That's what Conflicted to Confident is all about. It's about getting your marketing system in place. You want to be drawing your ideal client to you. And it's about really having an unstoppable belief in you and your business. Your business should feel effortless. I'm not saying it's not going to be work. It's absolutely going to be work. But it doesn't need to feel hard and heavy. I work really hard. I do a lot of hours between my corporate clients and what I do for you guys, but it doesn't feel hard. I love doing it because of the way that I've set up my business. And you know that mum insight that you've got? Tap into that, baby. We work through this in Conflicted to Confident. When we bring our insight into what our customers really want, it's next level. It's a massive level up in terms of your income, because finally you're telling them what they want to be hearing. And you're really helping them with the real problem, not just the surface issues that actually don't fix their problem at all. So there's 6 value-packed modules. In Connect, we go through how to build your vision. We go through understanding what is really driving you, the impact you want to be making. We shape your ideal life, and most importantly now, your purpose and the impact of your business. In Balance, we are going to work through you getting your time back, taking back control of how you're choosing, because it is a choice that you're making right now. You're just letting other people influence it to spend your time. And really knowing what your goals are for your family, and then designing your business to suit the life that you want. Get your business model straight. We will have a success story that outlines exactly what you want your business to look like, what your business success looks like, and what your brand looks like. And we will nail your brand and how you're showing up and that core message that you need to be delivering to your ideal client. In Believe, we're going to understand what those limiting beliefs actually are. You're going to dig deep and find them, because sometimes they hide from us. We're very good at deceiving ourselves and letting ourselves hide behind lots of what ifs, wherefores, and maybes. I want to get deep on your business beliefs and what is actually possible for you in your business. It's a really, really important module. And then in Own It, we are going to learn how to practice the art of self-confidence. You're going to be really stepping up. You're going to figure out who that CEO is that you need to be. What are the things you need to learn? How are you going to show up? And we're going to, most importantly, nail your marketing strategy in this module as well. What is the way that you're showing up? How can you have the biggest impact? What is the message you need to be delivering it? And then get out there and do it. And we set all of that up in this module. And then finally, we bring it all together in the results module. You will have a business strategy. You will have your business plan. You will do your goal setting. You will do that over, we've got your long-term goal, and then what are you going to achieve in 12 months, and your 90-day plans that are going to get you there. We also work through money mindset. I haven't talked about it today, but it's a massive area that is absolutely, it shapes how we set our goals in our business and really has a big impact on what we can achieve. And we deal with all of that in the results module. And of course, there are a bunch of bonuses that come with Conflicted to Confident. One of the things that I heard most often from my clients and my students when we first got started was, well, how do I get to know my ideal client? Actually, Nick, I don't have something to sell yet, so I don't know if this is right for me. And this is where How to Create Products That Convert came from. It's a full course. We've just finished live delivering it with the latest cohort of students. And it's 6 modules that lead you through how to find your ideal client, how to get to know them through the right market research, and I give you some really detailed instructions on how to do your market research, and most importantly, how to analyze the results and get insights out of it. Lots of us run surveys and then we go, that's really interesting, and we keep doing what we were doing before. No. You need to take those insights and you need to use it to shape your messaging. And step-by-step guidance to come up with and create your perfect signature product, because you're creating a product that is solving the core problem that your ideal client has, because you know what that is now. And then how to market it, how to take it to market, how to get those incredible messages right. And this plays really well with the 5 days to 1K framework. The second bonus is accountability and support. We have a super active student community. It's an amazing group of women, and it means that you've got 24/7 access. People answering questions, women who are a bit ahead of you, who are able to let you know what worked for them when they were experiencing the problem that you're having. You can ask any question anytime, and it's a really powerful accountability model. In fact, some of the students in the community started up a Monday accountability call, and they would get on the phone every Monday night and say, okay, have you done what you said you were going to do last week? Let's talk about that. And sometimes they commiserated about what their kids did to them that week, which is okay too. This bit is really, really powerful. This bonus is the fact that you get access to me live. I don't believe in selling an online course and then not showing up. So I do monthly live Q&A. Actually, I do it more often than that, but I commit to monthly at an absolute minimum. And they're learning calls. I deliver training in them. I teach you or walk you through things where I've noticed that people are really struggling. And if a lot of people are having the same issue, we revisit that. And then most importantly, you get to do live Q&A with me. So I answer the questions of the things that you're struggling with in your business. So you get deep insight, you get those light bulb moments, because you're like, man, I cannot understand what you're talking about. And we go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you can use the group to post your messages or about your ideal client or your business purpose or the thing that you're working on right now, and we all work on it together, and then we take it even further on the call. It's almost invaluable. The other thing that people tell me is that they don't really know where they're at in the business. This plays back to the profitability point. How do you know that you're actually making money? Well, this bonus is all about learning how to run your business like a boss. Know your finances. I've kept it really simple because most of us don't know numbers, but dude, you're in business and you need to know your numbers. So it's 3 simple video lessons with guides that will have you finally understanding what it means to understand your revenue and where it's coming from and the types of revenue, and it goes into that in detail. What are your expenses? How can you get specific about your expenses? How can you know what your profit position is? And there's a checklist there with a whole bunch of questions in there that you need to be able to answer for your business, and this course takes you through how to be able to answer them. You don't have to feel lost about the numbers anymore. And then finally, of course, our fast action bonus, which is available for the next 15 minutes for people who take action fast. And this is about making your investment back primarily, because when people said to me, Nick, I'm not sure if I can afford your course, I thought, okay, well, how can I help them make that money back really fast? That's what this bonus is about. So as I mentioned at the start, it's a 5-step mini course. So there's video training and a workbook for each of them that takes you through setting a goal that you're actually going to achieve, and then how are you going to achieve it, mapping it out, nailing your product that you're going to be selling, your messaging, and finally marketing and taking it out to your ideal client. Now, when you know exactly how many people you need to be in front of to hit a conversion rate so that you can hit your number, it's so empowering. All you need to do is the stuff to get in front of that number of people, and you will get the result. Best of all, it's something that you can rinse and repeat. And so you will get better and better and better because you're going to learn each time you do it. Super, super powerful framework, and it's free for you for the next 15 minutes. So you get lifetime access to the entire system. It's valued at over $12,000. Of course, I'm not selling it for that. That would be ridiculous. But you've got a summary on there today for what you get. You get full access to the course, which is the 6 modules online, all of the videos, all of the workbooks. There's a bunch of bonus live trainings in there, which I haven't even talked about. The Conflicted to Confident student community, how to create products that convert, the complete guide to mastering money management, the monthly Q&A calls, which are live in the student community, and the fast action taker bonus, 5 days to your next 1K. I also have a 60-day money back guarantee. Now, you can get started right now for just $267. I have a payment plan for a reason, because I want Conflicted to Confident to be something that people can get access to. I want them to be able to be getting results straight away. And so I will tell you how to access that in a moment. There's a link coming right up. First, I want to tell you a little bit more about the money back guarantee though. I wanted it to feel like it was zero risk, and that's where this refund policy comes from. Now, there is a catch. You do have to do the work. One thing I can say, and there's not too many things that are absolute certainties in life other than the sun will come up every day and go down each night. But I do know that if you don't take action and if you don't do something, you will never get a result. And so my 60-day money back guarantee is a do the work guarantee. If you do the work and show me your results, and you're still not satisfied, then I will gladly give you a refund. But I'll work with you first, because it's actually more important to me that you realize your dreams and that we get the results that you're looking for in your business. But it takes the risk away, right? Because if it doesn't work for you and if you're not getting results, then you can get your money back. So here's the link. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready to give yourself permission to move forward in your business? Because it's actually about your confidence. It's about believing in yourself enough to know that you can make a difference, that you can get a result. And so if you know that you're backed by a 60-day money back guarantee and all of that support and the student community and access to me and the live calls, are you ready to give yourself permission to move forward in your business? Here's what will happen next. When you go to that link, that's the sales page. You click the button that says enroll now and you choose your payment option. You can pay in full, which is a 20% discount. It's cheaper to do it that way, but there's a payment plan there for you as well. And then you get instant access. That's it. The picture you see on the screen is the training library. And so all of the courses are available in there for you straight away. You'll get instant access, well, as instant as the internet delivers emails to you anyway, which means you can get started straight away and start making an impact in your business. Start really exploring what's next for you, what's possible. You also get instant access to the community and can go and introduce yourself and start connecting with the other students of Conflicted to Confident straight away. So that's what I've got for you. As I said, the fast action bonus is up for the next 15 minutes. But let me answer some questions. While you're checking out the sales page, while you're having a look at it, I'll pop it into the comments for you here so that you can click on it live. Please hold because I can't type and talk at the same time. There you go. Let's talk about a couple more testimonials. Now, Jess was somebody who was really tempted to skim through all the setting the foundation stuff. But what she found was that with C2C, we go deep and we go deep quickly. I'm a pretty pragmatic person. I tend to kind of call it like it is. And so I'm going to call you out when you're BSing yourself. Because it doesn't do yourself any favors. We don't let our kids get away with it. Why do we let ourselves get away with it? I don't understand. And so for her, she finally was getting that solid picture of where she was going and what she was going to do. And Annette had a similar experience, very no-nonsense approach, found that I was pushing her through the uncomfortable stuff. And she now knows exactly where she's going in her business and she's starting to get the results. She's finally starting to show up consistently and it's paying off and it's making a difference. So it's really about giving ourselves permission to show up and realizing that there is no perfect time to invest in you and your business. That was actually a massive learning for me. I was waiting, when I get to this result, then I will invest in myself and my business. It wasn't until I started investing in a business coach and started working with someone who had already achieved what I wanted and had a way for me to get there that I could just follow. And who would call me out on my BS and my limiting beliefs, that I really started to see the results. That's when I got the confidence to finally kick my corporate to the curb and change who I was working with. And that has been an absolute game changer for me. But some of the questions that I do get from people are things like, and Michelle has asked a question in the chat box, is this suitable for an MLM style business? Oh my word, I'm so tongue-tied right now. So my answer to you is this. Do you need to figure out how to show up in your business? Do you need confidence to be able to get in front of your potential clients and potential team members? Do you need to learn who you are as a leader? Do you need to get your message right? Do you need to know who that ideal client is, who that ideal team member is, and what the core need is that you're satisfying for them? I would say that the answer to that is yes. I do have people with MLM style businesses in Conflicted to Confident and have coached with them. And I have done multi-level marketing businesses myself. In fact, that's how I got the entrepreneurial bug, was all that I learned through that experience. And so Conflicted to Confident isn't about a particular style of business. It is about you learning who you are and how you're going to show up to then be able to set the right strategy in place. And so my answer to the question is yes. Because with any business, and even MLM, you still need to set your business model in place. You could be very product focused, and that could be how you want to earn your money. But that's at the active end of the scale, right? So what is your balance between building a team and being a leader and growing your potential for passive income and product sales? It's all about nailing what that model looks like for you and your business. Hopefully that answers your question, but pop more details into the chat if it doesn't. The other question that I get quite a lot is, how much time is this going to take? We're all feeling really time poor as mums in business. And my answer to you is you can go as fast or as slow as you want to with Conflicted to Confident. Ali, who we talked about earlier, absolutely powered through it. She was like kicking off a module at least a week, and we had her going live in the student group every couple of days telling us what she'd learned from the latest lesson because she was so driven. Each of the lessons has a video that's probably about 10 to 15 minutes each. I've kept the videos pretty short. I do go through slides with them, but you can listen to them if you don't have time to watch them. And then there's a workbook that goes with that. And so it's really about you deciding, am I going to carve out maybe an hour a day or something like that to be able to dedicate to my own business growth. People come back to it too. So Jess went through Conflicted to Confident. She's recently come back to it, and she started from the beginning again to check in on her vision. It's something that you will constantly refer back to. And I've designed it like that deliberately. I don't want it to be something that you work through and go, okay, well, that was that done. I want it to be your community as you grow your business, because things shift and change. So it takes as long as you need it to take, and you can pick it up and put it down. So you might get to a point go, oh, okay, I've got real clarity on what I'm going to do next. I need to go and focus on delivery in my business, which is fundamentally where I want you to be. I want you to be taking action. If you stick in the theory, you're never going to get anything done. So it's really important to be able to go, oh, okay, I'm going to go and do this and see what I learned from that. And then come back into the group and say, okay, I did this promotion. This is what happened. These were my results. These were the people that engaged with me. These were the sales I made. Let's talk about how we can tweak it. And maybe that helps you realize that you need to do a bit more market research. Maybe you need to go back to how to create products that convert and do market research again, which I'm very sorry to tell you, never goes away. You're never out of the market research phase. And so the sooner you accept that, the better. I had to go through that journey as well, because you're constantly learning about your ideal client and how you can make a better impact for them. Do pop in if there are any other questions that you guys are wanting me to address. The lives that I do in the student group. So I show up in the student group. That's another question that I get quite a lot is, will we have access to you? Now, fundamentally, I will say that if you are all about only having access to me, then that's probably showing up a limiting belief, and we need to work on that. But yes, I do show up in the student group. I'm seeing some amazing answers to questions coming from other students as well. And so that's the power of having that community there supporting you, because it's not just about me, it's also about other people's learnings, and you get to learn and grow together. And when someone makes a mistake, they post about it in the group, and we all get to learn from that as well. It's really, really powerful. And then, of course, the lives, which are at least once a month. I do those on a Monday, and if you're not able to join live for some reason, then you're also able to post your question and I answer that live for you and come back in and answer further questions. So plenty of access to get the help that you need to move you forward. I also do the Mums in Biz show, which I do every Monday, and that is something that I highly encourage you to join in on as well. Most of my students come along and watch the Mums in Biz show, and it's a show where I go live on Facebook and I talk about an issue which is something that's creating a problem for you right now in your business and how you can move forward and past it. It's all about how we actually succeed in business as mums, and it's really important to build that community. All right, my lovely ladies. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I'm not going to keep you online. I would love to hear from you though, and I would love to see you inside Conflicted to Confident. It's an incredible community of women. And what I have found is that probably the most empowering thing about being in business is watching my students get results for themselves and be able to start to finally make different decisions about how they're showing up in their businesses and in their lives. Such an empowering experience. All right, my wonderful ladies, I will talk to you all very soon. I'm going to be sending out some follow-up emails as well as the replay. So if you want to go back and catch some of the goodness around the 5-step framework, then please do that. And I will see you all very, very soon in the tribe. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.